First aid kit. It doesn't need to be a massive first aid kit. I'm definitely not suggesting you shouldn't take a first aid kit adequately stocked with band-aids, a couple of bandages, some painkillers, and the general things that you may need personally on the trail. But what I am suggesting is you can't cover every eventuality, so it's no good having a massive first aid kit with you which only gives you additional weight, because most things on the trail, broken legs, broken arms, nasty cuts, you're going to have to get off the trail. It's not something you can take care of. The first aid kit is really to take care of minor injuries on the trail. I mean, obviously in Australia you might have something for snake bites, but even that, if you get bitten, you're going to need help straight away. You can't start bandaging up and walking, because that's the worst thing you can do. So basically what I'm trying to impress on you is you don't need to have everything that opens and shut first aid kit, because it's just not necessary. You won't use hardly any of the stuff. This is the clothesline I have on the back of my pack. It's a stretchy elastic clothesline. It doesn't need pegs, and the clothes go through it like that. This is just a bandana on here just to show you. But yeah, if your clothes get wet with rain or with sweat, they can hang on the back of your pack there, which I've done often. Obviously this is a day pack, we're talking about multi-day hikes here. So yeah, if your tent even, I've had the tent hanging on the back of here, the fly of the tent hanging on the back when it's got wet overnight, and yeah, it's been a bit of breeze or sunshine the next day and that dries it out. I'm just going to show you now another advantage with this, that you can hang it up between a couple of trees when you get to camp. And there's the clothesline hanging between a couple of trees. As you can see, it doesn't need pegs because it's elastic, so you can hang things in there, and that's how it fastens around the trees, with a plastic toggle there. And I've used this for other things. Of course, you can lash things to your back of your pack with it. And I lent it to somebody when I was on one hike. His the shoulder strap broke on his pack down at the bottom, and he used that to hold it up to get him out of trouble. Sea to Summit head net. It looks very much like a little backpack, but this little baby, it only weighs 12 grams, has got me out of quite a few situations with bugs. It stays with the thing on the end, so you don't get it lost, which is a good thing. At the top here, you've got a round part which goes over your head, and then it's got a sink strap there. So that goes over your head like that, and you sink it up. It's good to have a hat on because it keeps it away from your face at the front, and it's very light and comfortable. You don't even notice you've got it on. So yeah, it's a great asset, I think, to have it for 12 grams. You might as well have it in your pack, because out here, once the flies sense moisture, once you build up a sweat on the trail, the flies here just flock around for the moisture around your eyes and your mouth, nose. So this this stops you going bloody crazy with flies all over your face. I haven't used this particular net, but I have used a similar net in Scotland for the midges, and that worked really well as well. It sinks right down around your neck, at the back. So yeah, it's a great, and as I say, I'll try and show you. I'll put it over the lens of the camera. You can see it's, you're looking through that lens now where I was, and as you can see, it's not obtrusive, so you don't notice that you've got it on even. Pea bottle for in your tent, and that's got a pretty a wide lid on it, so I can't miss it on that one. Yeah, it just saves you getting out of your sleeping bag or from underneath your quilt, getting outside your tent. If it's raining and cold, you just use this, and I can reach out, undo the door and put it out in the annex. And I carry it in this bag here, which goes on the back of my pack, and this bag captures all the rubbish I make until I get to the next stop where I can get rid of it. Yeah, that's where the bottle sits, inside the rubbish bag on my pack. So yeah, it didn't take, as I say, it didn't take me long to catch on to what a good idea that was, especially for us old fellas, when there's no way knowing we're going to make it through the night without having to get up for a pee. So yeah, it works out well for me. Check everything before you start off on your hike. That means your shoes, hiking shoes, they're laced properly, firmly, and also your pack. Make sure all your load straps that sink down your load are synced down properly. Make sure your sternum strap here is done properly, and most importantly, on the top of your pack here, these straps on the back, the load lifter straps, make sure they're synced up properly so the load's right, more upright next to your back. Well, I've made the mistake of not checking properly. I got most things right, but the two load lifter straps on the back, I didn't even think to adjust them. Rushed off, and I had a very uncomfortable couple of kilometres until I finally realised that my pack was dragging me back, and I adjusted those two straps. Check everything before you go on your hike, and then you won't create any problems for yourself. As well as checking your pack before you start to make sure you've got all the straps synced down, another thing you've got to do, what could drive you bloody crazy, is to make sure you've got clothes or other items between your cups and pots in your pack. The last thing you want when you're going along is things rattling in your pack. It drives you freaking crazy. So yeah, don't, like I've got a Tom shoe pot with a cup inside it, and if I don't put something inside that, it rattles like bloody crazy and it drives me mad. So yeah, that's another thing you have to do. Just make sure, run around, jog around in a circle and make sure nothing's rattling in your pack. As I might have said before, I'm not a great fan of things hanging on your pack either. They can bounce around and that annoys me as well. I say I've got a 75 litre pack and I try and keep everything inside it if possible. The only thing I have hanging on it is my water bottles, as I showed you earlier, my clothesline if I've got things to dry, but generally everything is inside my pack. So yeah, that's another tip. Just make sure it's not creaking and rattling, because you have to stop and then you have to pull all your stuff out and rearrange it, and you don't want to do that. Do that before you start. As I say, jump around, do some burpees with your pack on, but make sure it's not creaking or rattling. Make sure you hydrate well before you start your hike, particularly obviously if the weather's warmer or it's anticipated to be hot. You should definitely hydrate before you start off on your hike. You already got some water inside you, and it gives you a flying start. You're already dehydrated whether you believe it or not first thing in the morning. So yeah, make sure you hydrate really well before you start off on your hike. I'm suggesting probably up nearly a litre of water, I say, before you start on your hike. That's what I do anyway. Leave your ego at home. Don't take it with you on your hike. You may think you know everything. You may think you're a seasoned backpacker, you don't need to know anything, but believe me, you're wrong. Okay, Hike and Seeker signing out. If you'd like to make some comments on what tips you have, that'd be fantastic. Also, if you subscribe to my channel, that'd be great as well. Okay, Hike and Seeker signing out. Thanks for watching the video. Take care, and I hope to see you on another video soon. Goodbye.